My name is Evelyn. I'm 62, and I've been coming to this park every afternoon for almost a decade. There's a bench near the lake, old wood, carved initials, half in shade. It's where I read, think, and sometimes pretend the world is still quiet. That day was windy. Children were chasing kites, a guitarist played near the fountain, and the air smelled of grass and cinnamon from the food truck nearby. I was halfway through my book when she appeared. A young woman, mid-20s maybe, sat down on the far end of the bench, headphones around her neck, sketchbook in her lap. Her hair was messy in that effortless way youth always seems to have. She caught me glancing and smiled. "Sorry," she said. "You were here first." I shook my head. "It's a public bench. The ducks don't seem to mind either of us." She laughed, soft, open, genuine. Her name was Harper, 25, art student, recently moved to town. She came to the park for the same reason I did, to think, to breathe. We talked about the lake, about books, about how both of us hated small talk, but were strangely good at it that day. She asked what I was reading, and when I said Virginia Woolf, her eyes lit up. "That's my comfort author," she said. "Someone who makes loneliness sound like music." That line stayed with me. So did she. The next day, she was there again. Same time, same bench. We joked that maybe we shared the same invisible schedule. By the end of the week, it didn't feel like coincidence anymore. She'd draw while I read. Sometimes she'd hand me her sketches, trees bending in the wind, people walking hand in hand. And sometimes, I realized, she'd drawn me. "Sorry," she said one afternoon, cheeks flushed. "You just look calm, like the world doesn't rush you anymore." I smiled. "The secret is, I've just stopped chasing it." She looked at me for a long moment, too long, and then said quietly, "Maybe I need to learn that." By the second week, I had stopped pretending I came to the park for the book. She was always there first, sketchbook open, coffee cup balanced on the bench, one leg tucked under her. When she saw me, she'd smile like she'd been waiting. Sometimes we talked for hours, sometimes we didn't talk at all. She'd draw, and I'd just watch the lake, both of us caught in the same rhythm. The wind through the trees, the ducks gliding in pairs, the way sunlight shifted across her face. One afternoon she asked, "Were you ever married?" "Yes," I said. "A long time ago. We both outgrew the same silence." She nodded, thinking. "I've never been with anyone older than me." I smiled. "And I've never met anyone who asks questions like you." She grinned. "Is that good or bad?" "Ask me again tomorrow." She laughed, but there was a flicker of something else in her eyes. Curiosity, maybe recognition. The weather began to change. The air grew colder, the trees started shedding, and she began bringing a blanket. One day, she placed it over both our laps without asking. It felt natural, the closeness, the warmth. We talked about time. She said she was afraid of wasting hers. I told her I used to count mine in years, but now I counted in moments that stayed. When she looked at me, her gaze lingered just a little too long. "You talk like someone who's made peace with herself," she said. "I try," I replied, "but sometimes peace is just another word for giving up." The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was heavy, alive. As the sun began to sink, she reached for my hand. It wasn't bold, just soft, searching. Our fingers brushed and stayed. My heart startled like a bird. "Evelyn," she whispered, "you make me feel like the world slows down." And in that moment, with the wind moving through the trees, the lake catching gold light, and her hand trembling in mine, I realized it wasn't the years between us that mattered. It was everything else we'd stopped pretending not to feel. When the park lights flickered on, she leaned her head on my shoulder. We didn't speak. For once, silence wasn't something to escape. It was where we met.